I'm going to talk about religion because I've never ranted on religion. I've got no reason why to hold back anymore, and I officially think that this world is so fucking ridiculous. I have to have this out there and have it said because it seems like it's this mind-blowing fucking thing for so many people, and I can't really understand why. But that might be because I don't believe in God. And I say that in the sense of I have never seen, felt, or experienced any reason to have any rational sense, thoughts, opinions that there might be a singularity, that there is an indistinct individual in control. Fatalism, that's an interesting philosophy. I find myself greatly intrigued by it. I don't think that there is enough outwardly spoken or invested groups towards the prospects of fatalism. But I find if singularities exist, it is within that which we define that word, fate. But I can't seem to uphold, find, or adhere to any doctrines that state the truth of an individual, creative, conscious singularity. And I find myself at odds with the entirety of the world, it seems, where there is a great deal of atheists out there. I'm at odds because I find that they're not actually any different. So I can't say that I have found something similar, or that being that them being without the belief of God is any different than being in the belief of God. And I say that only because, not because of the upholding to a thought of there being a singularity of consciousness, but instead they both adhere to this sense of knowledge that they feel they possess that is unobtainable. It is an impossibility to... I've defined it, well, I've broken down my ability to interact with religious people within really one sentence, and it kind of breaks it down to the truth that you cannot possess the knowledge. It cannot be obtained. And I say it as simple as those who look to themselves as an outside source of information are insane. Because the information that you would have to have, you cannot be a self in which you can obtain it. Because to be alive, you cannot be dead, and you cannot know dead. To have died and come back is questionable and debatable to if you actually died, if life was gone. So you didn't die, because you're alive. So it's not debatable. So near-death experiences, people who believe they're holy, all of these random encounters cannot be judged as anything more than someone telling themselves something, someone finding something they believe in and adhering to it. Whether or not, for my instance, I once had a near-death experience. My heart stopped and I had to have the hospital assist me. During that time, I had to be resuscitated, and from my experience, I lost a day, a little bit over. I had a cream, kind of tan color overtake me, like when you stand up too fast. And then I came back, like when you wake up every morning, kind of out of a dream that you don't really remember, from black. that dream that fades to black? Because you don't really remember it. Just kind of a, yeah, that was weird. What was that about? Huh? A defrag thing, they say. Well, I decided that if that's death, then there is nothing but black. This is no different than what atheists do. They decide to obtain knowledge that more or less they're telling themselves. There's no fact or truth to it. They are seeking a truth through themselves, and only they themselves can define it as truth. That's why every near-death experience is counteractive or counter to every other near-death experience. There's half the people they see their relatives, half the people they go to a neat place, half the people see a bright light, half the people see dark, half the people half. And so you find yourselves in such a fractal point that you realize that there is nothing connecting them. It is everybody just in thought. Simple as that. It's truly just the human mind in synapses. There's nothing unique, special. There's nothing new or different. It's not somewhere else. It's definitely here, then, that. So when I get into religious conversations with people, I get overwhelmed with the reality that, well, each individual might be able to come to the clarity that they feel as if the Bible might be misused. Certain religions, Islam, my God, no, preach of peace. All of these things, this is what they feel they adhere to. Well, it might be used incorrectly. Well, there might be these wrongs throughout the world. Religion is necessary because it brings about the stability and the understanding of this truth, of this knowledge that they know, that they feel, they understand, that they've come to the enlightenment of, that they embrace, that they told themselves. While they embrace something so heavily, and they're questioning their own abilities to acknowledge the complicit, immoral, unjust behaviors of, say, the Catholic Church and their touching of children, or the abortion bombings of certain clinics, variable things that don't stand for what they feel as if their truths are to them. I ask them, each individual, yes, but what is it that you're feeling and you're presenting as a truth? Discard the doctrines. What is it you are adhering to as a truth to yourself, as a reality? Do you believe the stories of this in your truths? Each individual. Do you believe that Muhammad? Do you believe that Moses? Do you believe that Jesus Christ is here with you, in you, talking to you now, guiding you, and it's not you? I understand if I were to say talking snakes. You believe in talking snakes? Jesus Christ is alive right now, came back from the dead. You believe in zombies? You'll get offended. You'll be taken aback. You will immediately deflect. Our conversation will be dropped immediately. Passive-aggressive behaviors will all that. I understand. That's human nature. I've responded the same. I was once atheist because of my experience, until I realized the ignorance of that being that both parties are claiming to know the unknown. I find myself at odds and struggle with the label of agnostic, because that's adhering to the search of belief, in which I don't believe I'm searching for anything if there was a belief to be had. So, in each individual, I find they answer, yes. It scares me. I don't understand what that means. For the denial of self, each individual seeking their own clarity, their own truth and knowledge, refute their own ability to be, to accept, to understand that they are in understanding. They have to find something outside of themselves. And I don't understand that. They create, they adhere to, and they uphold what it is they find themselves to want to be and to adhere to. Their morality, their spirituality. They create it. But then they pass it off, for good or for bad, for fear, for lust, for it all. For any emotion that has stricken them harder than the base of just breathing, existing. Anything beyond, I think, therefore I am. I don't understand that. It's a loss of control that once you acknowledge the loss of control, you'll never be out of control again. You'll never want to give that control up. So why do people rail against their own control? Why do they seek this separation? What is it about religion that creates all of these individual needs to be separate from themselves, to be a lesser to themselves? I'll never understand it. And again, like I started with, maybe it's because I'm just without. But when 99% of the world piles into a building once, twice a week, when they share the word love, and they do it in a sense of a greater than themselves, I'm lost in their actions and their intentions, because I understand the prosperities that come from such moralities, unity, peace. But what I don't understand is in the seeking of, and in the trial, why the denial of it? It's there. You have it. It's yours. There is no deception in that. The deception in that is that you take it from yourself by believing that that is a deception. Satanism isn't any more true in creation than its opposing force. No more is it with you right now than you are with yourself, because only you can make it there with you. And the simplicity of that always is overlooked. In the depths of the Vatican, there are priests that will pray on that constantly, and they will find the truths and the acknowledgement and the understandings, and they will pass the word on, and it will come down in parables, in scriptures and quotes that find its way to all the peasants. The fields hear it, and everyone adheres to it. But it doesn't change action or the intent of the individual. The morality is still lost in the seeking spirituality. It doesn't need to be, because it's already had. And I just don't understand religion because of that. That's it.